Patrick for the place to be on this special week honoring our weather watchers.
Yeah, it's a place to be with Patrick D, sort of on the road edition, because I've been on the road now 3 straight days. First of all, I went to Homer, and then I went to Ruston, and today I went west to Atlanta, Texas, but this one is well worth the drive, and we are live for this one here in Atlanta, Texas, with a weather watcher here that's been with the program almost since the very, very beginning, pretty close to it. And I'm talking about Mr. Brian Loper, and I'm going to turn this around, folks, because I'm absolutely fascinated by his setup that he has out here. Brian, first of all, you've been this almost since the beginning. What brought about your love for weather? I'm just curious.
Well, my dad was really big into the weather, and I guess I got it from genes, I guess you would say, and become fascinated with the weather as growing up. So
yeah, you do weather reports here. Do you not just have, this is crazy, 1 and also 2 and 3 different weather stations here? Why do you have 3 different weather stations?
Well, I started off with the AccuRite system, which is a normal PWS that most folks get, and then I decided I'd kind of pick up the game and step up the game a little bit. So I got the RainWise system, which is a Mark III system that's kind of more of a professional setup and used in professional applications.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had a little special thing that I did. Come up with this new technology, Tempest is the name of the system.
You sort of wanted to do a thing set up sort of a community weather station.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And it's set up as a community weather station. Took donations from the community and bought the system, and anybody in the community can connect to it.
This is fascinating. I saw this. I said, what in the world is this right here? What is that?
That is a hail pad.
A hail pad.
That is correct.
And so you show indentions of where there's hail, and there's probably one right there, and you send the pictures off to where?
No, you send the whole
thing?
You send the whole pad off to Colorado University.
That's fascinating. That's absolutely cool.
And they can tell the size of the hail and what direction it came from, and you mark all that on there.
Okay, one other thing I want to point out as we wrap up this segment, the other cool thing he has, folks, that he has here in front of his weather stations, actually to tell you that if you go on to different places there, is that you can go and find his weather station and find the reports from this one here or from the other one, which I think is pretty neat. Now, stick around. We'll talk more to Brian in a little bit, because he not only does weather observations, he is also a ham radio operator, which is very important this day and age when it comes to weather. But we're going right now talking about 10 years of our weather watchers. Today, we're in Atlanta with Brian Loper. We'll send it back to the station.
Cool stuff there. We're so appreciative of our weather watchers and everything that they do. Patrick, thank you.
Now let's send it out to Patrick for the place to be. He's with one of our weather watchers celebrating their 10th anniversary this week.
Yeah, there, Caroline. Place to be here today. We are in Atlanta, Texas. I am with Mr. Brian Loper. And I said earlier on, he's a ham radio operator. He brought me inside of here. This is your ham shack?
Ham shack.
This is his ham shack, folks. And I'm blown away. Now I see other things that I want to go spend money on right now, though, too, and get into stuff. So ham radio operators, that's been something that is still so important these days, even despite all the other technologies that we have. So when severe weather hits, you're in this room. What are you doing here in this room when severe weather hits?
I am getting reports out from other ham radio operators across the repeater system, and I relay that back to you guys or through the National Weather Service through the chat room, and get the reports back in.
What's so funny, when I walked in here, these chairs were turned around, and I'm like, dude, are you like a gamer or something? Because that's literally what that looks like here. But here's what's so fascinating. So you do Facebook Live here on this.
That's correct.
You have a chat from the Weather Service, radar back there, all these other sources. You have a variety of different radios there. So this is like your hub. You go into action whenever severe weather threatens the area.
That is correct, yeah. Chat room, they area forecast discussion alerts me to be able to do Skywarn, and then through email or text through the integrated warning team, they text me and tell me to activate Skywarn, so I activate Skywarn here for the National Weather Service.
And ham radio operators date back how far back?
Oh,
I'm talking about way back. And then my final question for you in this segment, he does this, folks, he doesn't make any money off of this. And all this equipment here, you've invested into it.
Correct.
And so why do you continue to do this?
Because I care about the community. I care about being able to provide information to you guys, the National Weather Service. And, some of that information we send in helps the Weather Service to be able to determine if
Right.
another warning needs to be put out downstream from where they've already put one out. So
Yeah, I can tell you, first of all, folks, he takes us very seriously here. Glad to have Brian Loper as a ham radio operator. I mean, I'm glad to have him as part of a weather watcher, but overall what he does, especially whenever it comes to whenever severe weather hits. But we'll chat with Brian one more time coming up, everybody, in our next half hour, so stick around for that.
It's pretty cool stuff. Kind of looks like my gaming setup there, Patrick, just a little more screens. We appreciate that. We'll check in with you here in just a bit.
Over Patrick once again for the place to be for this Weather Watcher Anniversary Week.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. I cannot think of a better way than to be outside here in beautiful Atlanta, Texas, over here right across the state line for you in Cass County, right?
That's correct.
Sometimes I forget where my counties are, but yeah, Cass County. We're over here with our weather watcher, Brian Loper. We stepped back outside. So last half hour, we were inside his, as far as his little shed there for you there for his ham shack.
Ham Shack.
Ham Shack. For us. We got him here. Instead of me turning off camera, let me just go over here to him and we'll talk to him just a little bit. But we're out here right now with him. And, you have a cool little setup there. Alex actually says that looks like his game room, but actually you have a lot more monitors than he does there with him. But we're outside. But in case folks are curious, you do all that broadcasting from in there. That signal has to go out some way, right?
That's correct. Yep.
How does it go out?
Well, it goes through your cabling with coax, and it goes out an antenna.
Now you don't have any ordinary antenna, do you? You got something pretty big. Folks, check this out right here that's above his house. What is that?
That is a hex beam.
Okay, so powerful, I'm guessing?
It is.
It is powerful?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, how far away, folks, you'll find this fascinating, how far away have you actually talked to somebody from here?
10,700 miles.
Okay, so
from
what's
my house.
10,700 miles away? What was it?
Talked to Reunion Island,
Where is that for people that don't know?
southeast of Madagascar.
Did y'all understand each other?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Yeah. It's on the southeast tip of Africa.
So, okay, that is pretty cool there with it. So you have multiple antennas here. Let's talk a little weather. Let's walk over here. You got your weather stations too. You really and truly enjoy weather. You don't have one, you don't have two, you have 3 different weather stations.
That's correct.
Why in the world do you have 3 different weather stations? Does your wife say you got too much stuff?
She does, but I don't,
Obviously you
gotta
don't
have
listen.
it. You got to have it.
You gotta have it there with it. So you have 3 of these set up here for you, and that's pretty cool that you have that here. We got 30 seconds left with you. Why do you enjoy doing the weather? You're part of the Weather Watcher program. Why do you enjoy this so much?
It's something that contributes to the community, and it's about keeping people safe. And our whole thing behind being weather watchers is to make sure that we're trying to help people stay safe and maybe save lives at the same time.
Pretty neat here. I'm fascinated this week having a chance to visit with some of our weather watchers at their home. But check this out, folks. We got Mr. Brian Loper here, Atlanta, Texas, one of our weather watchers. We'll send it back to the studio. Don't worry, it's only Wednesday. Tomorrow we have a special recognition of our weather watchers we'll be showing you, and then another visit to Keithville, our last one that'll take place on Friday. We'll send it back to the studio.
Sounds like a lot of fun, Patrick. Thank you.